Hello and welcome to my channel. This is going to be part 2 of the theory episode. After that, we're going to go back to just practicing stuff. As you remember, we went through the structure of the major scale and we found out that we have thirds of different sizes in a major scale. We have major thirds and we have minor thirds. And one of the next exercises we did was playing triads. And triads were 2/3 on top of each other. So you remember the exercise went something like this, where we went to... We played a note, skipped a note from the scale, played the next note, skipped the next note in the scale, and played the note after that. So it was 1, 3, and 5. And the structure of that will give you a triad. You have the third. I'm going to do it again on the B string. You have the third from the 1 to the 3. And then you have the third from the 3 to the 5. So this is 2/3 on top of each other. First this one, and then this one. To make this a little bit more playable on the guitar, we don't just go up the string, we go across the strings. So let me move to a C on a different string. I will use a C an octave lower and go down here to this C. So this is my C. And now I want to go C to E. So I skip the 2. I get a major third. I play this from the E string 8th fret to the A string 7th fret. Instead of playing the E here, I play it here. Because I want to get to the whole triad, and I can't play 3 notes at the same time on one string. I have to separate them out onto different strings. So I go from the 1 to the 3 to the 5. And this gives me my first triad. In the position of an E type, I had it here. And then I went up like that. If I go to a G type C major scale, I have this as my first triad. C, E, and G. If you just look at it theoretically, if you have major thirds and minor thirds and you start to combine them, you end up with 4 possibilities. A major third and put a minor third on top of that. You can have a minor third and put a major third on top of that. Or you can put a minor third and put a minor third on top of it. And the last possibility is a major third and another major third on top of that. So that's the 4 combinations you have when you have 2 different thirds. What we find out when we do a major scale is I start on C, I get a major third and a minor third. And I call this a major triad. You've heard this sound before plenty of times. If I start on the next note, I start on the D, and I skip a note, I get to the F, I skip another note, I skip the G, and I get to A. So now you can see, just visually, you can see that this is a different kind of third. This is a minor third. On the C, I started with a major third. That looks like this. 1 string over and 1 fret down, that's a major third, as long as my strings are tuned in fourths. And if I go up, D to F is a minor third, and then F, I skip the G and I go to A, I get a major third. So now I have a differently structured triad. It has the minor third on the bottom and the major third on top. This is a minor triad. The same happens if I start on E. I also get a minor triad. When I start on F, on my 4, I get another major triad. See, this is the same shape that I'm fingering when I play my C major triad. That was down here. For F, I'm up here. So now, just going up in the C major scale, playing the triads harmonically, it was C major, D minor, E minor, F major. I'm going to go to another set of strings so it's a little bit easier to see, and you also easier to play on if you want to play it on acoustic guitar that doesn't have access to those higher frets. I go up to G, I get this shape again, G, B, and D, another major shape. I go up to A and I have A, C. Again, you can see there's my minor third and the major third on top. And now we get to a different possibility. Now we have the B, and I have a minor third, but I have another minor third on top of that. With this, which is this sound. It's called a diminished triad. 2 minor thirds on top of each other. So going through the scale, I had major triad, minor triad, minor triad, major triad, major triad, minor triad, diminished triad, back to the major triad. Now I'm back to my 1, my C. So if I work this out, I can play it on only the A, D, and G strings. It's the same notes as this. So I got C and G. This is my C major triad. You know this from a C chord. It's the bottom part of the C chord. This would be the whole, but I'm only doing A, D, and G string. So this is my major triad, my minor triad, another minor triad, major, major, minor, diminished, and major. So this comes out to be a formula. On 1, 4, and on 5, it's all major triads. On 2, 3, and 6, it's minor triads. And on the 7, I have a diminished triad, because it's 2 minor thirds on top of each other. And this is going to be the same in every major scale. On the 1, the 4, and the 5, you have a major triad. On the 2, the 3, and the 6, you have a minor triad. On the 7, you have a diminished triad. This has a lot of implications for songwriting, for improvising. One of them being when you see a minor chord, just a minor triad, like say A minor, you have to start thinking about that. It could be the 2 or the 3 in a key, or even the 6 in a different key. So every minor chord can be in 3 different keys. And from knowing the other chords around that chord in a progression, you can figure out what the basic scale is that you can use to improvise over that. And you can also figure out, if you start on a chord and try to put together your own progression, what other chords will be available and sound good right away, because they're related and they're in the same key. Memorize this as a new formula. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, for the triads of every major scale. The only one that we have not done is the augmented chord. Augmented is when you put 2 major thirds on top of each other, which will be, if I go, you might have heard this sound, they use it in the blues sometimes to go. I did a C augmented, which is C to E is a major third, and then I did another major third from E to G sharp, and you get this sound. It's not naturally occurring in the major scale, but it is used in music, and when you get used to the sound of it, you will find it plenty of times. So the next exercise we did was we added another third on top of those triads. Because first we had just practiced our thirds, then we practiced our triads, and then we practiced our 4-note chords. And the theory behind this is we have a major triad on the bottom. I have the C, the E, and the G. And I'm adding another third, so I skip a note again and I play the note after that, which will be C to E, E to G. Now from the G, I skip the A and I get to B. And the notes then are C, E, G, and B. And this is my C major 7 chord. And when I start on the next note, I start on the D. I have the D and the F and the A. We already know those from the triads. And I put another third on top of that, on top of the A. Here's my third, A to C. So I have D, F, A, and C, which gives me a D minor 7 chord. And then on the 3, on the E, I have the E minor 7 chord. On F, remember it was a major triad, I put another third on top of that. It's a major third that I put on top, because I go F, A, C, and the C to the E. It's a major third. So I get another major 7 chord. The structure for this is major third, minor third, major third. Now if I go to the next one, which is G, I had a G major triad, which was major third, minor third. But if I go and skip a note and play a note, I get to F. So I get a different structure, because now I have major, minor, minor up here from the D to the F. And this will give me a G dominant 7 chord, a G7. I keep going up, I get to A. Again. So that was minor, major, minor. Gives me A minor 7. And the last one we do is starting on the B. We had the diminished structure. We had a minor third and top of a minor third, another one. And then I put another third on top of that. I have a major third. So I have minor, minor, major. And this chord is called B minor 7 flat 5. If I play them just on the middle 4 strings, I get C major 7 here, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G7, dominant, A minor 7, and B minor 7 flat 5. And again, this is a formula. I have major 7 on the 1 and the 4 in this key, on C and on F. I have minor 7 on the 2, the 3, and the 6, which gives me D minor 7, E minor 7, and A minor 7 in this key. And on the 7, I have a B minor 7 flat 5. And most importantly almost, on the 5, I have a dominant 7th chord, a G7. So of all the possibilities that we have when we stack 3/3 on top of each other, in a major scale, we get major 7 chords, minor 7 chords, dominant 7 chords, and minor 7 flat 5 chord. The structure is going to be the same in every major key. The 1 and the 4 has the major 7, the 2, 3, and 6, the minor 7, the 5 has the dominant 7, and the 7 is the minor 7 flat 5. To make this theory come alive a little bit more, it would be good if you try to do this for different keys. The whole procedure that we did. Start with a note and build a major scale on top of that. Then on each note of that scale that you build, put the third, if it's minor or if it's major. Then put 2/3 on top of each other so that you get the triads for that major scale. And then add another third so you get the 4-note chords for that major scale. And you will have a lot of different tools at your disposal, theoretically. The voicings that I've shown you here are to explain the theory behind what we're doing. When we play, we usually have ways of fingering a chord that are a little bit easier, faster to get to on a guitar. For that, we have to drop down certain notes an octave so that we get for, instead of playing F major 7 like this, we play it like this. And then the same holds true for the triads. I play them, and you've seen that in my episodes on the cage system. We play them in different ways, and we also play different inversions of those triads and 4-note chords where we place different notes on top or bottom. So an F major 7 can sound like this, depending on what note I'm putting on the bottom or the top. But it all comes from this, and all these ways of playing it, they all have the same 4 notes. So now you have a little bit of a background for theory, but let's just go back to practicing because it's all in the playing anyway. I hope to see you soon. Bye.